Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch Wayfarer. Today we are diving into a detailed review of the Casio MTP1375D-1AV. The crystal on this watch is a mineral crystal which is known for its durability and resistance to scratches to some extent. I am saying this in air quotes, saying to some extent, meaning this is not as durable when compared to a sapphire crystal. It can take a beating, but it won't be as durable as a sapphire crystal. But hey, we cannot have everything for the price that the Casio company or the brand offers for this watch. So it offers a good balance between cost and toughness, making it a practical choice for everyday wear. Let's talk about the fluted bezel on this watch. The case being stainless steel and the bezel, which is similar to what you would see in a Rolex, features a very nice fluted bezel, and when you look at it from a distance far away or when it's on your hand, it plays with the light in very beautiful ways, and this adds a touch of elegance to this watch and which is much more additional to what it actually offers from the other polished finish or from the case itself. So adding a fluted bezel really did take this watch to a much higher level than it is on. Now let's talk about the case finishing. The case finishing on this watch is high polished, and as you can see within a few seconds on my hand, it grabs a lot of fingerprints. So bear in mind, this silvery high polish finish on this watch is a fingerprint magnet, and you would see yourself wiping it down every once in a while when it's on your wrist. But it gives it a nice high quality and premium look to some extent. But if they had added a little bit of brushing on some of the sides or on the flanks, maybe it would have been a bit more of a better choice. But for this cost, them providing a solid stainless steel construction with a mirror polished case finish is really a good. Now let's talk about the bracelet. This model comes with a stainless steel bracelet that complements the case perfectly with its brushed finish, and the bracelet is approximately 20 millimeters wide and features a fold over clasp, as you can see over here, which ensures safety and it stays securely on your wrist. It is adjustable and you can customize the fit to your liking. But one thing that I don't like about this bracelet is that it is something which you see in most of the watches, like the watches from Casio and Seiko. The tinny feeling watch, though it is stainless, it doesn't give you ample feeling that you would get from a solid link bracelet. And yes, this is a little bit of a hair puller. So if you have hair on your arms and if you wear this, it might pull your hair here and there at times, but I felt it is a little bit less compared to what you would see in other Casio's other watches. All in all, the bracelet is good for the price that we pay for, and its brushed finish matches pretty well with the overall polished finish. It's not up to a level that it is completely in sync with the polished finish, but it does give some difference or some breakup of the entire watch when it comes to a brushed and the polished finish on the bracelet and the case respectively. All in all, a good bracelet for the price that we are paying for. As we were speaking about the bracelet having some cons, let's talk about the pros and cons of this watch. Every watch has its own downfalls and it also scores in some of the areas. So when we talk about this watch in particular, we see that it has an affordable price point without compromising on the quality, and it features a durable stainless steel construction, and it has a versatile design that suits both casual and formal attire. It also features a reliable quartz movement for accurate timekeeping and you have useful subdials, the one for the day of the week, the other for the date of the month, and again you have the 24-hour subdial for ease to look at it whenever and wherever you want it to be. And it does have its own cons. The first one being the use of mineral crystal, which is prone to get scratched on heavy use, and it's not as durable as sapphire crystal. So that's one thing to note about this watch. And this watch, though it is a bit on the larger side, it might feel slightly large with those having smaller wrists, especially one who are having like less than 6.5 inches in circumference on their wrist. And the limited water resistance being 50 meters or 5 bar just makes this watch usable for any activities which involves slight splashing or very brief amount of immersion. I'm saying that in particular, you don't want it to be immersed for more than like 2 or 3 seconds, then it might go in. As you know that the watch doesn't have a screw down crown, so you would be better off having it for slight splashes or some rainfall splashing on it when you're going out and activities like that. But it is not suited for any kind of swimming, diving, or immersion inside the water. So that's another con that you might want to look out for. And it being a dress watch, you wouldn't find that much of a con when you are just wearing it for mostly dress watchy occasions. So that's my take on the pros and cons for this watch. Now let's talk about the functions and features on this watch. The Casio MTP1375D-1AV is equipped with a quartz movement which provides accurate timekeeping. It includes 3 subdials, one which is on the left, the one which is on the right side near the 3 o'clock position shows the day of the week, and the one at the bottom shows the date of the month, and one on the 9 o'clock position is the 24-hour subdials. From far, you might think that it is a chronograph watch featuring 3 subdials, but when you come close, you would see that it has a lot more things which is much more related to the day-date complication. Rather than having one single day-date feature near the 3 o'clock position or the 6 o'clock position, they split it up into 2 subdials, for one showing the day of the week, the other one showing the actual date of the month. And this third subdial, though it is not that much useful and it shows the 24-hour format of the time that is shown, is a smaller subdial which actually provides a bit of a balance to the dial. If you don't see this subdial, then it might feel it's not balanced. So having this subdial makes it symmetrical and much more cleaner to look at. Now let's talk about setting the time, date, day on this watch. So if you have to set the day of the week, if you want to set the day of the week and the date of the month, there are 2 pushers on the right side of the watch. And as you can see, they even have provided you with a dimple on each one of the pushers. So any of us who doesn't have much nail to press these pushers can make use of a wooden toothpick or anything which can press it down easily. So let me show you how we can set the day of the week. As you can see, the top right button on or the pusher on this watch is used to set the day of the week. So you just need to press until you hear it click to the next position. So as you can see, if you press it slightly, it doesn't move much. You need to press and hold until you hear a click and it jumps to the next position. So let me move it to Tuesday. And as for the date of the month, it is exactly the same. It operates in the exact same fashion as the day of the week, just that you need to press the bottom right pusher and you need to keep pressing it until you hear a click to make it advance to the next position. So as you can see, you hear a click and it moves. Hear a click and it moves. So I want it to be at, since I was at the right position, I will bring it back to the position that I need at a later point of time. But now to show you how it works, you need to press this button until it clicks. So as you can see it clicking and it sets to that position. So that's how you set the date of the month on this watch. So how about the 24-hour dial? You don't have a button for changing that specifically, but you have this crown which you need to pull it out, and as you move the main hour and minutes hand, it will automatically set the 24-hour subdial. So as you can see, I am near the 6 o'clock in the evening and it's also showing up properly as 16, 17, 18. So it's already at the 18th hour mark. So just to show you that it changes to the next position on the subdial, you need to pull it out, and once you pull it out, it hacks. The seconds hacks or stops. So now I have the ability to change it. Now as you watch closely, the subdial on the left actually moves slowly as I change the hour mark. So as I move the hour hand and I reach 7, it sets at exactly at 19. Right? So that's how you see the subdial for 24-hour dial in action. So once you are done with your time change, you can push back the crown in and it will start the watch. So it's relatively simple to operate the subdials on this watch, and it's very simple. The layout and everything is so simple and it's clean. Let's talk about the crown guards on this watch. You get a nicely shaped crown guard protecting the crown on this watch, and mind you, the crown is an unsigned crown and it has enough amount of knurling on it for us to be able to switch it or move it back and forth. And this crown guard is big enough to protect your crown from getting hit against any wall, table or any solid structure. So it's really good and it helps you to protect your watch. Now let's get into the macro level view of this watch. Even at a much closer and at a macro level, this watch doesn't fail to impress. You can see the circular patterns on each of the subdials, relatively clean, and the printing quite good for the amount of price that we pay for, and you don't find much issues or much dirt inside the dial, and the prints are really clean on the dial, and the multifaceted indices, the applied indices on the watch do a good amount of justice to how well this watch looks at close-up. And speaking about the printing on the dial, you can see it's very minimal. It just says Casio and water resistance as 50 meter and just Japan movement on it. Them keeping it to such minimalistic proportions or printing very minimal text on the dial of the watch and concentrating a lot on the quality of the indices and having an applied indices on the index on the watch gives this watch a really good look or an elegant appeal to this watch. Really love what they are doing for such a low price on this watch. To sum it up, the Casio MTP1375D-1AV is a fantastic option if you are looking for a stylish and a functional watch that won't put a dent in your pocket. Its classic design combined with practical features makes it a great choice for everyday wear. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more watch reviews. Until then, keep on ticking.